She closes her eyes and breathes. Memory is drifting like autumn leaves. Margaret is 82. She remembers a time when her body was her ally. Mornings were for walking through the park, afternoons for laughing with friends over tea. But now, simple steps feel fragile, and each breath reminds her of how life itself becomes more delicate with age. She looks at her reflection in the mirror, soft silver curls framing gentle lines, each one a testament to a story, a loss, a triumph. This isn't a story of doom, it's a truth many share but few speak of. 1. Let's begin with the first truth. After 80, the body changes in ways subtle and unsettling. Muscles don't respond as they once did, joints ache with cold mornings. The energy that used to rise with the sun now lingers hesitant. There's no dramatic collapse, just the quiet realization that every movement, every step demands more intention. And yet, in those hushed moments, there's beauty, the grace in a measured breath, the triumph of rising unassisted, the deep appreciation that these legs still carry her forward. It's a gentle cue, a reminder that aging is not a sudden storm but a slow, unfolding journey. 2. Then comes awareness of time. Margaret used to think 80 was far away. Now it feels present, an ever-ticking clock. A friend's passing at 83, another's struggle with memory. Invitations to birthdays marked with a tiny footnote, space limited. She realizes that every sunrise is more valuable, and as days accumulate, laughter and silence take on new shades. They are richer, more poignant. This isn't morbid, it's profound. It prompts a softer way of living, lingering at the table a little longer, savoring the taste of tea, writing a letter instead of a text. It's the slow art of presence. 3. The third insight is one many shy from: loneliness. Not necessarily physical isolation, but the bittersweet emptiness of hearts once filled. Friends move, spouses pass, communities shift. Margaret sometimes walks past empty nests, houses she used to visit, filled with the hum of grandchildren. Now there's a quiet echo. It can feel like strolling through a room just as the music ends. Loneliness isn't just lack of company. It's the sense that the world has edged forward without you. And yet, even then, there's comfort in small connections. The barista who remembers her name, the neighbor's wave, a stray cat curling at her feet. These aren't grand gestures, but they softly warm what could otherwise feel too cold. 4. The fourth truth is less spoken, but deeply felt: the erosion of independence. It begins with tiny things. A meal that once seemed simple now requires planning. A drive that used to be routine demands caution. Margaret installs grab bars in the shower, uses a softer lamp near her bed, holds the rail on the porch. She feels the shift not as a loss, but as adaptation, an extra layer of kindness toward herself. And as tasks transform, so does identity. She learns to ask for help and to accept it. She realizes that letting others share her burdens doesn't diminish her. It deepens trust, builds bridges, and invites love in. 5. Now, the fifth truth: memory. Margaret used to tell stories with ease. Now, sometimes a name flees her mind, or a familiar word floats just beyond reach. For a moment she panics. Is this just age or something more? She writes things down. She pauses when speaking. She shares with her daughter, "Tell me again who that was, your old teacher." And as stories are retold, memories are reshaped. Her identity remains resilient. This is not forgetting, it's a gentle rearrangement, letting what matters most stay steady while the particulars shift. In these 5 truths: body, time, loneliness, independence, memory, we uncover the honest, tender reality of life after 80. Each reveals not just decline, but opportunity to find depth in fragility, connection in the small, and possibility in adaptation. Margaret opens her eyes again. There's a quiet resolve there. She breathes in the richness of now, of what remains and what still can be. She is older, but not diminished. She is walking gently, with purpose. This journey is not one of fear. It's one of learning, how to live fully even when the chapters grow quieter, how to honor the past, tend to the present, and still welcome tomorrow. She's sitting by the window now, sunlight slipping through lace curtains. In quiet moments like this, the truths of being over 80 settle deeper. But that still doesn't answer the question. What does it really mean to carry on, to wake up each day when your body no longer feels as reliable, when time doesn't stretch like it once did? Let me share something. In many countries, Japan, the United States, beyond, people over 80 report a clear decline in physical quality of life. Muscles weaken, movement slows, back pain becomes common. Small tasks suddenly require intention. This is sarcopenia, a loss of muscle mass so widespread that between 11 and 50 of people over 80 experience it. It's smooth, subtle, but relentless. That's the body's whisper. Ease up, take your time. For Margaret, that meant switching from brisk walks to gentler stretches. It meant learning to trust her body in a new way, not as a vessel of capability, but as a companion in vulnerability. She didn't stop moving, she just moved differently, more mindfully. She felt each vertebra, each joint, guiding her lovingly through day. This brings me to a gentle correction of our earlier truths. Frailty isn't sudden, it's a landscape that unfolds unevenly. Among 80-year-olds, only about 15 are fully frail, while 60 live with managed health challenges, and the rest remain robust, even vibrant. What sets people apart isn't simply the passing of years, it's what they choose to do with them. Think of John, 84, who joined a community gardening group last spring. With each seed planted, he found purpose sprouting anew. Experts named these vibrant individuals superagers, active, connected, remarkably resilient. About 10 of their age group, they walk, volunteer, play music, stay curious, and in doing so, seem to stretch back their minds and their hearts. And there are others like Hank, 94, who still leads fitness classes, or Inez, 97, who teaches and researches in her community. They remind us age is not destiny. Within the same chronological year can dwell both quiet struggle and bold engagement. Key insight 2. The power of purpose and adaptation. Catherine, who spent decades studying aging, discovered that those who continued to pursue projects in their 80s were often healthier than those who slowed, where the teaching, painting, mentoring, passion became an invitation to live fully in a body that spoke in softer tones. This echoed the wisdom of Harvard's Ellen Langer, who showed that perceiving yourself as active, regardless of age, can improve health. When Margaret started writing letters to her grandchildren, her days gained meaning that no age could diminish. Do you remember the last time you learned something purely because it fascinated you? Those sparks aren't just for youth. In the quiet of a later life, they light deep, steady fires. Key insight 3. Connection. Loneliness literally shapes the body. Loneliness isn't just a sad feeling, it's a silent adversary. Nearly a quarter of older adults in the US live socially isolated lives. That isolation weakens the immune system, elevates blood pressure, even shortens life, sometimes as much as smoking or obesity. One long-term study found that lonely seniors were 23 more likely to die in 6 years than those with richer social ties. Margaret knows this well. After losing her husband, weak or obesity, one long-term study found that lonely seniors were 23 more likely to die in 6 years than those with richer social ties. Margaret knows this well. After losing her husband, weeks turned soft gray. Then a volunteer from her local church began visiting. No dramatic life change, just a cup of tea and a shared silence each Wednesday afternoon. That small anchor kept her steady, helped her body remember warmth again. Connection isn't only about ease and joy, it's a buffer. It quiets the storm inside. It reminds you that you still belong, even when the years reshape the world around you. Key insight 4. Small adaptations. Honoring independence with humility. When Margaret struggled with dizziness and fell, it shook her. A fracture that chipped away her confidence. She thought, maybe this is the end of walking, of going out alone. But it wasn't. With physical therapy, a walker, a new exercise routine, she returned. Older, yes, but wiser. Falls affect 50 of people over 80. Each year, physical therapy and strength exercises can reduce their risk, but more importantly, they preserve dignity. So, Margaret started a twice weekly class designed for her age group. She focused on balance. She learned to rise slowly, and she discovered something unexpected. The body, when treated with care, often responds. She wasn't regaining youth, she was reclaiming trust. She learned that independence isn't a static prize, it's a dynamic art. It shifts with our seasons, requiring grace, acceptance, sometimes support, sometimes will. Key Insight 5: Memory's Paradox. What is lost can deepen what remains. Margaret used to tell stories with clear arcs. When I was 16, now she begins, hold on, was I 15 or 16? And laughs softly at herself. It's unsettling, yes, but it's also human. Cognitive change affects many. Worry, word finding pauses, but deep memory, general understanding, feeling, they endure. Researchers call them superagers, brains preserved beyond expectation. And even for those without preserved memory, purpose, and social connection can slow cognitive decline. Margaret writes a poem each morning. Even if she forgets lines later, she feels them in her chest as she writes. It feels rich, alive. It slows her mind, not because it's misunderstandings, but because it's presence, warmed by intention. Now the picture begins to form. Yes, the body shifts, time becomes more finite. Independence can feel fragile. Memory may not be as crisp, but with purpose, connection, adaptation, and acceptance, a life after 80 can still be luminous, rich, resonant. Margaret sits at her desk once more. She reads her poem aloud, voice steady, reflective. She smiles. The years have shaped her, but they haven't silenced her. She still creates, still loves, still breathes possibility. That brings us to the midpoint: 5 core truths, seen through research and human stories. We've invited both the tender light and honest shadows. Let me know when you're ready to continue with the final section, weaving these truths into an inspiring, heartwarming close, one that affirms aging after 80 as a chapter of resilience, peace, and quiet triumph. As morning light filters through the curtains, Margaret pauses, fingers gently resting on her latest poem. In the quiet, she feels the pulse of years, softened, deepened, refined. The body may speak in quieter tones now. Memories may flicker and drift, but beneath all those shifts is a resilient heart, a steady soul, and a still learning mind. Let's return to our friends, John, Inez, Edith, Sheila, and superagers like them. Edith Renfro Smith, 110, and Sheila Nichols, 84, remind us that even at extraordinary ages, warmth, curiosity, and purpose remain vibrant, and that sharing stories, laughter, and friendship is a gift, both to them and to all who know them. These superagers are not exceptions, they are beacons. They show us that with intention and connection, the darkest chapters can glimmer with meaning. Modern research offers more guidance. Studies show that those over 80 maintaining mental agility tend to be physically active, even if movement looks different than it did at 50. They eat well but aren't defined by diet. They sleep sufficiently, enjoy novelty, and nurture friendships across generations. These elements, purpose, movement, joy, relationships, are simple rhythms of life, everyday practices that build resilience. Brain scans of remarkable elders reveal preserved gray matter in memory regions, even when typical brains would show decline. They move more steadily. They carry lighter loads of anxiety and depression. They live not just by the clock, but by what fills their heart. Remember the science. About 10% of people over 80 are superagers, with near young memory and spirit, a shared thread among them. They stay intellectually curious, open-hearted, emotionally connected, and they lean into life rather than away. A quiet call to action for our later years. 1. Cultivate curiosity every day. Learn a poem, pick up a passion project, dive into a new subject. Your mind matters, even gentle curiosity keeps it alive. Stay connected and keep returning. Whether it's a phone call, a weekly shared meal, or a shared silence over tea, let others in. They'll carry you and you'll carry them too. 3. Move with intention. Perhaps walks have softened, that's okay. Balance exercises, gentle stretching, purposeful motion, they all whisper to every muscle, every bone, you matter. 4. Accept help, but give yourself grace. Asking for support isn't surrender. It's acknowledgement that we're still walking a path, not alone, but together. 5. Embrace all you've gathered, lines on your face, memories that drift and joys that remain. They are yours. Your life is stitched together by love, resilience, curiosity, presence. Margaret closes her poem gently, breathing in deeply. There is gratitude there for challenges faced, losses endured, wisdom learned, and for hope still blooming. In each sunrise, each friendship, each hand extended and accepted, each word remembered or redesigned. As we close this story, know this: to grow older isn't to fade, it's to shine differently, softer, deeper, richer. Even after 80, even after 90, life can be luminous. So if you're listening, perhaps you're 80 or nearing it, let this be your quiet reassurance. Your body may speak softly, but its gentle voice holds strength. Your mind may pause, but its depth grows. Your days may be quieter, but your heart can still sing. And your life, woven with purpose, tenderness, connection, can be a testament to courage, beauty, and grace. May each new morning greet you with patience, each evening hold you with peace. This chapter, yours, is a story of resilience and quiet triumph. And above all, it is a story still unfolding. Thank you for walking this road with me. The end.